Hey there guys, I am Alex the Wiser Owl, and I'm back with a Prodigy This or That, this time with 3 molds. We've got the X3, the D Model S, and the D3. So these 3 discs are all going to fill that same stable distance driver that's going to be a fairly neutral flyer and is going to be pretty accessible for that sort of MA1 to local pro level arm to get that max distance with a flex flight. Where the big difference is on the 3 of these is going to be in the hand feel. Specifically between the X and the Ds, I've always said that the biggest difference is going to be X is for extra slim profile and the D is a little bit deeper. The D3 is a little bit deeper and a little bit thicker on the rim by 0.1 centimeters, which doesn't seem like a lot on paper, but when I do my power grip on the X series, I can get all 4 fingers underneath there with the tips of my fingers just touching the bottom of the flight plate, which is a comfortable, controllable grip for me. On the D series discs, when I do my natural grip, my pinky can't get all the way underneath that rim and touch the flight plate, and it just feels off to me. That's why I've never been a big D series driver. The D Model S, on the other hand, is actually very similar to the X3 in terms of the PDGA specifications. So for the purpose of the video, I will compare them side by side rather than the D3. So when you put them nose to nose here, you'll see the wing itself is very similarly shaped. There might be a little bit more taper on the D Model S. The thickness of the nose, the profile on the top, the height of the discs, all very, very similar. So they feel great in the hand. To people who like the X series, you're probably going to end up liking the feel of the D models. So in terms of the flight of these 3 discs, they are all super similar. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time breaking down each of their flights because I'll just be repeating myself over and over. So I'll just sort of montage the clips for you while I talk about each sort of angle of release. When you throw these discs flat right out of the hand, you're going to see them start tipping and holding this swooping high-speed turn that's going to give you that extra distance before it starts fading back across your body for a pretty net neutral flight. It's not a straight flight. It's a net neutral flight. Pretty equal turn and fade. So after throwing these guys flat, I'd say they probably turn about 30 degrees to your arm's side. So when I throw it on a hyzer, I try to match that 30-degree angle on a hyzer, and it's gonna flip up to flat, ride straight, and then finish. You're gonna have to forgive me on my anhyzer flights here. When I started throwing the anhyzer angles, the wind started coming in right to left and started just picking up the bottom of the flight plate and turning these discs into kites. But I can definitely tell you that throwing these on an anhyzer, they're gonna hold that Annie almost all the way to the ground, depending on how hard you throw them. If you give them a nice easy anhyzer, they're gonna hold that Annie and start flattening out as they get to the ground for a nice forward finish on that anhyzer throw. So again, you can't go wrong with any of these molds. If you have that 350 to say 420 foot arm, that's pretty much where I'm at, these things are gonna give you really easy, consistent distance, no matter which one that you choose. What it's gonna come down to is what your hand feel preference is and what your plastic preference is. The Prodigy proper line has way more plastic options in these molds than the Ace line does, but the Ace line has these distance drivers in a baseline plastic, so if you're someone who likes to beat discs up to be, different flight paths, you can get these really flippy, really quick by getting a baseline one. If you are interested in getting any of these molds, they're all fairly available. They're popular molds that get run a decent amount of time. Some of the new Prodigy signature discs that just got released are D3s and X3s, so I would encourage you to pick those up. And the Ace line discs, you can find these cheap pretty much anywhere. That's a huge benefit. Quick timeout, if you could take the time to like, subscribe, and comment on this video, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. All those things go a real long way in helping support me, because who doesn't like that positive feedback of people liking your work? So I appreciate if you would go ahead and do that. Well, these were super fun to throw. Hopefully they can find their way into your bag. Until next time, play wiser. Hey there, I pulled a Marvel and I'm putting things at the end of the credits. That's right, I'm going to do a giveaway for this D Model S in Duraflex plastic that was only thrown for this video. And I'm going to one-up that, and I'm going to have my guy Ben Tucker over at 508 Dies put a filthy die on this for you. So all you need to do is go over to the Wiser Owl Instagram. You will find a post that has got this disc on it. Just comment on it what your stable distance driver of choice is, and I'm just going to randomly generate a comment to send this to, see if it kicks your go-to out of your bag. So make sure you're checking that out.